This is one of many books I'm going to be reviewing in the upcoming future. I'm going to talk about that a little bit briefly before I head out into the very hot summer weekend to visit my sister. I'm going to start a new review show on YouTube called Book and Review. Where's where I review some old and new novels from the 80s, 90s, and now. See if they hold up. I'm in the process of doing my first review. Another 2 weeks. The book is very interesting. I'm not gonna tell what it is, but it's very, very weird. It's one of my books I normally don't read, but I'm reading this one, and let me tell you, well, when I do the review on it, you pretty much understand my point of that. But most of the books I'm gonna be reviewing will be based on fantasy, drama, crime dramas, particularly like James Patterson books, Dean Brown, those categories, and fantasy based, where Harry Potter fantasy, Paisley and the Olympics, those kind of books, and give my own take on it, whether it's good or not. But those are the books I'm gonna be mostly reviewing, and I'm in the process of doing my first review in the next few weeks' time. Maybe probably in the mid to late August, you'll probably see that first review come up. Could be earlier. It all depends on my scheduling, because I'm gonna be very busy the next weeks. Not only making some videos, but just my other workload as well. I want to say this before I clock out of here, because I got a lot of things to talk about, not only in this video but in the other ones to come. Wanted to first and foremost apologize towards the last video I did. I mentioned a movie of whether it will be a hit or miss, and I was hesitant to make it. I didn't know what it was that I wanted not to mention it. Now I know why. The movie's called Sarah Key. I said it was going to be a miss only because of its contact. I think too many people do not want to stay away from historical drama like that, especially when it's dealing with wounds from the past. Apparently this movie is not a nationwide release. It's selected theaters, and it's only played, I think, in a few theaters, mostly all independent theaters in Manhattan. So it's not going to get a major release, and that's part of the reason why I probably didn't want to mention it in the hit or miss review. But I did, and unfortunately unfortunately it's not going to be a hit but only because it's not a major release. So I do want to correct myself on that. I knew I should have left that off the list, but I put it on anyway, and that pretty much happened. So I do apologize for that misstep from there. Want to bring up two major things. And in case you're wondering where I'm at, I'm in a coffee shop. So yeah, it's cool air conditioning and great coffee. So that's where I'm at in good old Brooklyn. First, I'm going to mention the movie. It's been out for a week now. It's supposedly planned for a nationwide release. When that ever happens, I don't know. When it will ever reach New York, I don't know. But it's supposedly planned for a nationwide release, and that's called The Undefeated. The reason why this movie interests me a little bit is because it's a Sarah Palin's political documentary, which, by honestly, if I hadn't, did a little bit of internet surfing, I would not have known this movie existed. Apparently, this documentary, tells us how she rose to power in Alaska, how she fought the big oil companies, and in turn, pretty much how she became governor of that state. This film has got bashed on by every critic that have seen it. It has not got a good rating at all. And it opened up to a pretty much empty crowd. It got, it really did not, wasn't pleasing to many people. However, I think it's only fair to say that this film only came out in 10 theaters, stretched over 9 cities. So that basically is one theater per city. I mean, it's not like it's a major release. It's not. It's only 10 theaters. It's only distributed by one theater, AMC. So to say that it, bombed, it's a little bit unfair because it never really got a big major push. At least not yet. And most of the places that's getting these pushes, are red cities that has a very strong Republican base. So, and it's people, they are seeing it made $70,000. So people actually, there are people looking at this film. Whether they like it or not, that's the other question. But there are people out there who have seen this movie. So that's a plus. If you want me to, if you ask my opinion, it's not a failure. It's a plus. Only because I didn't expect no one to see it. Period. So, and but only time will tell how well this film is when it gets a nationwide release, if it ever does. I am curious how it is, and I am looking forward to seeing it. At least when it comes out, because I'm curious on how this documentary played out. And let me get one thing clear: I'm not a big Sarah Palin fan. I don't agree with her views. I got nothing against her personally, but her views I don't really 100% agree with. And I think she's, in my opinion, I think she's doing all this for the camera. And I do believe that this movie is for 2012 push. For presidential election. So that's how I see it. But in terms of historical value, I'm actually curious what this movie had to say about her rise to power. Especially when it involves her taking on the oil company, which I heard about from friends. But I'd rather hear it. I'd rather see how this movie portrays it, because, like I said, and to be honest, with the exception of her being McCain's running mate to now, there's very little we know about Sarah Palin's rise towards political power. We just don't. I mean, she came out of nowhere, didn't have much history on her. Didn't know. I didn't even know where she was the governor of Alaska until she actually was announced as the running mate. So yeah, I'm curious on how that works out. So I'm looking forward to seeing this film. I am going to try and attempt to see this movie if it does get played in New York. It's only played in Kansas City. It's being played in Texas. I think it's being played in some parts of California. It's not being played mainstream. It's only being played in certain select cities which has a very strong Republican GOP base to it. So it may, so when it does come out in New York, I'm pretty sure it'll be one of the, independent movie theaters. I will definitely make an attempt to see it. If anything, just to see, just give me something new about, Sarah Palin. That's it for this video. I will, log in to talk about another big issue that involves Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park 4. So till then, stay tuned, and yeah, just stay tuned.